In a world where the plumes are hazardous, four men rise above the clouds to bring you the latest news and innovations from the vaping world. From the highest horse, Understudy 77, random banana boat in the Gulf, Mass Blast '09. With a beard too fierce for human eyes, Fubaka. And with a passion to abolish sleeves, the angstful vapor.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn. Ba-ba! Welcome, everybody, to the Plumes of Hazard. As always, I'm your host, the Angstful Vapor. Right down there below me is the lovely, talented Fubaka's Corner in his ceiling. Oh, there he is. And right there to my left.
I chopped off all my hair.
And you chopped off all your hair.
It looks dapper, man. I like it.
And to my left and your right is this white guy we found on the street corner.
I really did come from a street corner.
Slaja.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Holy shit. It is like 1,000,000 degrees in my office right now.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
It's like it was like 30 degrees outside today, but not in here right now. It's a couple PCs running, a couple monitors. You know, heat gets made, so to speak.
Yeah, for those wondering, I posted in the Facebook group last week. I'm moving today and tomorrow. So my PC is offline. So I don't have that extra heat.
Yeah, I bet it's noticeable in here. If I don't have my PC running, it's just my Mac and a couple displays. It's fine. But with all of them running,
if I turn off the PC, the temperature will drop.
Yeah.
So when we do our GTA races on Fridays, like we've raced for like up to 2.5 hours, right? Depending on how large the playlist is. I gotta like crack my door a little, kind of let some air out because it gets noticeably warmer. You know,
it's all about that crackle-lackle factor.
No, not with the PC. You don't want that.
You don't want any crackle-lackle going on.
Yeah, no, you know, my GPU is like topping out at 75C. The CPU is topping out at 65C. It's a lot of heat.
One of the real upsides of having the window right next to my PC is I can just pop that window open if it starts to get a little bit warm, and then it's cold air right on the PC.
Yeah. Fessy says, Fu looks like a banker or a lawyer now. He's in cognitive dissonance.
I think it's very dapper.
I mean, so long story short, my hair has felt noticeably thinner in the last few months. It's part of getting older. I think also because I actually started using product in my hair to keep the long hair in place. That was not good for my hair. It was,
breaking it.
My hair started breaking and shit. Yeah. And so I'm just cutting it short, and then we'll let it get long again and see how it goes. Yeah, I haven't had it this short in probably about a year.
Yeah,
we really are all getting old. Just old at this point, I think.
So you were asking about the sound effects, right, in our Dropbox.
Yeah.
And I went through while I was at the grocery store. I was flipping through on my phone looking for those things for you. And when I found it, I went to the Poe official, and it was like shared 6 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit,
dude! I was going through like all the ones in Poe official with. I was like in a Discord chat with somebody else.
Yeah,
I'm like warning him. I'm like, I'm about to play one of these, and I don't know what it's gonna say.
Right, could be real bad.
All like cum giggles. Yeah. So let's see.
Oh, that's Bigglesworth.
No, that was Da actually.
Oh, it was Da Ching.
It was one of Da's, but like I don't remember what any of them were. Like I knew which one I was looking for, but I didn't remember all the other ones. But I did add a whole bunch of like really good ones throughout the board. Because I figured this was a fun place to play with it, like,
yeah.
Or you could always have a little bit of fun, like Masty used to, and go
walk.
Right. With X split, right, is what he used to use.
No, he used to use Manicam.
Manicam, that's what it was.
So I'm doing all this on a physical board now, which is kind of an amusing thing. Like I've got physical buttons instead of just clicking something.
Oh, by the way, thoughts and prayers go out to Quad's dog. He dropped $1,300 on it just after Christmas.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, that's a rough amount of money to pay right after Christmas in general, but it also obviously sucks that it's your dog, man. I'm sorry to hear about it. I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Addy.
Hey, we're missing Masty.
We are still missing Masty. I shot him the link. I think he's busy in his garage doing lasering things. Ooh, I should go get one of the things he sent me. I should go get one of the things he sent me. Hold on, I'll be right back.
We'll pretend that he's here while he's gone.
What up, Josh? What up, Josh?
There. We can pretend that he's here. But is everybody else gone but me?
No,
I don't even host this show anymore.
No, I'm here. I was just answering some messages on my phone.
Ah. Say, damn, I don't even host this show anymore. Don't leave me alone. That's not a good way to go.
It's not like you don't know how the fuck to host.
I have no idea how to do stuff.
Oh, I got this board. Fucking use
All right,
it.
so check this out.
Podcast.
So after me giving him so much shit when the last show was on, and I said he still hasn't sent me the stuff he promised me last year. He sent me a bunch of these little cutouts from his laser pointer things. So I got a little TIE fighter,
nice.
which is pretty dope.
That's really cool.
And even cooler than that is this one. So if you look at this guy.
Yeah.
It is so cool, and it took such a long time to punch out. It was really... You can see all these little tiny pieces
and
and
put
stuff.
it together?
Huh?
You had to punch it and put it together?
Yeah. And some of them were fine, but there are obviously like lots of little holes in all these little guys that he cut out. He cut out the holes, but I had to go back. I wasn't able to assemble it very well by hand because they were so tight. Couldn't get them in there. But when I got home, I have some pocket files, some really tiny little files. And I got in there I had a little square file, so I was able to square up some of the holes and stuff. And it went right together after that. It was great. This thing looks really cool, dude. Some of the detail that he put on here is great.
Oh yeah, and you can like the other one, you can hang it on a thing and put it on a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's got a little hanger thing. That one doesn't have it, but yeah, I didn't attach one, but I did. For
So
this guy.
here's an idea. So what you do is on the X-wing, where your droid would be, take a magnifying glass and burn a hole because your droid got blowed up.
Yeah, your nav droid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. It's actually not on there
I remember
because it'd be right behind the cockpit, right?
I helped my brother put together an AT-AT model way back in the day.
Yeah.
And it came with 2 snow speeders with stands flying around it.
Nice.
Yeah. So what he did was he put them on the stands, and we took a white sewing thread and tied it around the legs. It was dope.
So speaking of X-Wings, have all of you watched The Mandalorian?
I watched the first season. I have not watched the second until it all comes out.
It's all out. Watch it.
Yeah, it's
is it? Did it finish up?
Yeah, it's
8
all
episodes.
out. Watch it.
It's what?
Yeah,
I think there are only 8 episodes a season, but watch it.
Is the second one worth it? Is the second season still good?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is. I saw a quote the other day that the dude who plays the Mandalorian has been rushed to the hospital with back problems from carrying the weight of the entire Star Wars universe on his shoulders.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that was that's exactly the joke I thought you were running with.
I mean, honestly, and I like the Jedi side of Star Wars. Like that's the side of it that interests me. But
yes,
there's probably no better Star Wars than the Mandalorian. Like I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, and the side movies
pretty good.
Fine.
I agree.
Anything but the last trilogy they did was pretty good. Like
and the first or the second trilogy, 1, 2, and 3.
And even the prequels, I wouldn't mind rewatching because
it's really not worth
it. Dude, if it's on, I'll watch it. But it's like they tried. Like I was talking about this with my brother. They were bad.
Okay.
Yeah, they were poorly written. No, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, there were still good characters in the prequels.
Just bad stories and bad.
Yeah, it was bad story. Poorly written script.
Hold on.
But
that being said,
this is pod racing. Come on.
Hold on. That being said, the Clone Wars cartoon series was phenomenal.
What, Clone Wars?
Yeah,
fantastic.
phenomenal. And
Fantastic.
Rebels, phenomenal.
Angsty, I'm not defending Anakin at all. All I'm saying is like Count Dooku was a very good character, right?
So
Dooku was pretty darn good. Yeah.
I'm going to end up watching all these again because my wife got me the Lego Millennium Falcon for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's going to take me at minimum 9 movies to put together.
Yeah, probably.
If not more than that, because I watched all 8 Harry Potter movies putting together the Diagon Alley set, and that's the Millennium Falcon's 2,000 pieces more. So I'm assuming I'll probably get through all of that and half of Clone Wars or like all of Mandalorian again or something.
How clever is that? Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
Rob said, am I alone that I've only watched the old ones that played on TV? What are the old ones that played on TV?
The original ones, I'm assuming.
Like 4, 5, 6?
Yes.
Back when Han shot first.
Yeah. You mean the accurate portrayal?
Yeah, the accurate version. Although I was just talking about this the other night. Like, you got to give Lucas some credit because the dude's a fucking genius. He goes in, he changes it. A bunch of people get pissed off. You know who started making the hand shot first shirts? Lucas.
Oh, is that right?
Oh
God, yeah. They're registered like trademark Lucas shirts.
Hold on. Here's like we need to discuss this right now. The name HAN, is it Han or Han?
I've kind of both, like probably Han. But
yeah, I'm Camp Han for sure, but you just said Han.
Yeah.
How do they refer to him in the movie?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I feel like it's Han.
It's been a long time.
It's Han.
I feel like it's Han, but I know a lot of people say Han too. Han Solo is a pretty normal, because I've heard people conflate it with
says
hand.
Han Solo, a fucking hand job.
Well, that's what I mean. I've heard people conflate it with HAND or HANS, like Hans Olo, like is his last name.
The only HANS I know is not Hans, it's Hans.
Hans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Rob says Rob says hand. He says hand. Short A.
Huh.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. Festa, you're right. They are doing another Dune movie
too.
What was that?
I said, I bet you Lucas took that shirt too. Talk to the hand.
And it was like when Trump first got elected, like he owned like half of the anti-Trump T-shirt websites and every. Yeah, it's just, kill him with money, as they say.
So Festa just said that he just found out that they're doing another Dune movie, and they are. Eric D was the one who's been talking to me about it for many months. I'm pretty stoked about it, but I'm on the fence because
I'm skeptical.
They've made it so poorly so many times, and it is such a good universe.
Well, that and historically, sci-fi epics have not done well.
Yes,
that's accurate.
So I'm like, whatever. Because it's like, oh man, this is like the latest and greatest, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm going to be giving it like a Star Wars critique.
If it comes out anything else like 2020's big letdowns, it'll be full of bugs and not completely finished.
That's right. And
you know
suck
what?
Hard.
No, I disagree with that.
Guess what? The internet begged for them to put it out. And
so
they got
what I'm saying is I disagree with the sucked hard part. I really enjoyed 2077. Like I really, really enjoyed playing it.
No, I said the year.
Oh, well, the year did.
The
suck
year
hard.
2020.
I thought you were talking about
balls.
Cyberpunk 2077 because that was my joke. So I read a really interesting article about this where they put a whole bunch of shit together, and you know who you can blame for everything that happened to that game?
What,
Keanu
Cyberpunk?
Reeves. Yeah, Keanu Reeves.
Really?
In 2018, beginning of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The Cyberpunk folks said, hey, main story's done, playable, you're finished, you can go through it.
Okay.
About 6 months later, Keanu Reeves goes, I really like this game. I want to double my part. Like, I want twice as big of a part. And they said, okay. Because they had, like, the other language voice actors who were doing the Keanu Reeves part come in to re-record. So I'm assuming that instead of using that, like, 2 years to polish and build everything else, they were like, well, we got to completely change the main story to double Keanu Reeves' part right now because that's what he wants.
That doesn't explain the fucking awful driving mechanics.
It does if those were all things they were going to build later. Like in the time period that they were rewriting the whole story. And you're also not wrong that people demanded that it come out. Like I'm not
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Anti-CDPR on this one.
But yeah, the driving sucks. The NPCs are fucking retarded.
The AI is awful. The world is incomplete. The bugs are ridiculous.
But it looks pretty. The story's great.
See, it looks good, but it doesn't look any better than any other game to me, really.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say with the 3080 with like ray tracing and that shit, like it's impressive. Like it looks good with ray tracing, but I don't think it like naturally looks better than any other game that's out there. Like I don't think it's particularly next gen fucking beautiful.
And it was coming for like what, 7 years or something, right?
Well, they've been making it for so long. I'm actually surprised it won't run on any older systems because it looks like something that could run on PS4 to me.
Yeah.
And PS4 graphics look good.
Mm-hmm.
Like PS4 has always looked really good, but it looks like that to me. Like it's maybe a little better than that.
I've been watching. I haven't played it, but I've been watching somebody stream it, and they play it on max settings and whatever. They've got a reasonable.
You
PC.
should play it because the story is worth it, and the main story and the side quest stories are really, really fucking good.
Yeah,
and there's some weight and impact as you go through it that like I went in basically spoiler free on purpose. And I don't usually go into games spoiler free, but like I really wanted my first playthrough to be kind of like pure.
Yeah.
And I really, really liked it. Other than, the bugs and some of the other issues, because they absolutely exist. And I'm sure those are going to get fixed. And I'm sure the world is going to get fleshed out. And I'm sure all those things are going to happen.
Right.
But I don't regret like playing that story. Like that story was absolutely worth the money. Anything else to me is icing on the cake.
Sure. Did you see any like game breaking bugs though? Because the guy that I've been watching has not seen very many. There's
really
been a couple,
dumb
but not
shit.
many.
Like I'd get into a story quest or something with somebody, and like the person bugged out and they weren't where they were supposed to be, and then they like jumped to where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
But they'd keep looking at me while they were like they'd be talking, then they'd stop and they'd be like, "Hey, how are you? What are you doing here?" And then they like jump back into what they were actually saying.
Right.
And then a couple minutes later, "Hey, how are you? What are you doing here?" Like, that kind of stuff. It's not game breaking. Like it's playable. I played through it. It's a stupid fucking bug.
Yeah.
It breaks the
immersion
a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. There's a couple that the funny ones that I saw so far where he got into like a car chasey kind of one, right? And he was a passenger. He was supposed to lean out and shoot. And he was killed one time. He got right to the end, got killed. So they loaded a checkpoint, got back on. And when he loaded, his camera looking backwards along the car, if you look down here, you could see his beheaded body like laying to the side like this, and he didn't have a gun. So he was just like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, I've gotten in cars a couple times, and it like put me like on top of the car, but then once I started driving, it reset and put me back where I was.
Here's my base for reference is GTA 5, which came out in 2013.
Yes,
much more polished game.
Yes, but GTA 5 also arguably looks about as good. Like, I don't think Cyberpunk is like next gen good looking. I think
it is
for good looking.
But do you remember when GTA 5 came out? It had a lot of bugs too.
I think you grossly overestimate how good it looks now. I think with graphics mods, it looks amazing. The mod community around it is amazing.
Yeah,
it's scaled well. They've made graphical improvements over the years.
I'm using my example as like Spider-Man for PS4.
Sure.
Which is arguably probably the best PS4 exclusive.
Or if you want to like directly compare game wise, think Fallout and Deus Ex. Very buggy games.
No, what I mean is like I'm using my graphics comparison to like Spider-Man for the PS4. Like Spider-Man on the PS4 was a fucking beautiful game. Arguably, it looks just as good, if not a little better than Cyberpunk looked, which is why I'm so shocked that Cyberpunk can't run on a PS4.
Because the hardware sucks.
Yeah, but the hardware can run better looking games.
It can. I don't know.
My guess is there's a whole bunch of other problems with how they code it because that's the problem. The AI
was optimized for PC more than
it was
anything.
Absolutely optimized for PC.
Yeah.
But like the AI sucks, so like that's not overly complex for compute cycles unless it is supposed to be, but it just broke. I don't know. Like it's a good looking game, but I wouldn't say it's an amazing next gen looking game either. It's dope with fucking ray tracing and everything on ultra. Like it looks pretty good, but it's not blowing me away because it still kind of looks like a 5-year-old game before all the next gen shit came out, which is essentially when they were making it.
Yeah. Isn't Cyberpunk like a million gig download?
60 or 70 gig, I think, something like that.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's
I was
only
gonna
60 or 70 gigs.
It's
Like
not the worst. I've seen worse.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Red
gotcha.
Dead was like 110 gigs, I believe.
Was
Yeah,
it
and
really?
Red Dead was a really good looking game, but Red Dead was a buggy game too when it first came out.
Yeah.
Not that bad though. Like not to the
Not
point.
Cyberpunk bad. No.
Yeah, I was
Red Dead
saying,
had much
like,
smarter AI and shit in it too.
because it's still a Rockstar game.
Yeah. Cyberpunk's problem isn't just that it was buggy. Cyberpunk's problem is that it's unfinished. The AI is unfinished. The world doesn't feel like a lot of shit's going on. Like it's supposed to be this like living, breathing world, and it doesn't feel like a living, breathing world. Like there's a lot of things that just don't feel quite right. Not quite done. So I look forward to where they go. I don't think it beats Witcher 3 in terms of quality or anything. But I will say that the story was one of the best stories I've played in a game probably since around The Witcher 3. Like,
Sure.
it's a really good story.
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching somebody else play it at the moment.
I know, but you got to play it yourself so you have the weight of the decisions.
Yeah. Seems like
And your box should be able to handle it. It's relatively new.
Yeah, I probably could.
I mean, I'm glad I enjoyed it because half the reason why I bought the 3080 was for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I had a feeling that my 1080 was going to have a hard time with it.
Isn't that what I have? Yeah, I got the 1080 titanium or whatever, right?
The TI is a lot better
Yeah.
than the base 1080.
Yeah, the 1080 was fine. You just can't run it max. You could probably run it. You can't. Obviously, you don't have ray tracing. You may be able to run it on medium. Do you have a G-Sync monitor or what do you got, Angsty?
I have a Dell and it's not G-Sync. I forgot. what it
Okay,
is.
you're 1080 60 or is it 2K?
I don't remember. I'd have to actually look it up. What my monitor is. Wonder if it's in the
So-
notes.
Mine is, I'm not even 144 hertz on my monitor.
Because yeah,
My
if
monitor
you're 1080 60, you could probably run it at medium, maybe. So
Yeah, my monitor is totally a work monitor first. Like,
Yeah.
it's a 34
Wow.
inch ultra wide. Like, it's a work monitor first.
yeah, I have one at work. I would not like to play games on an ultra wide like that. It's too much real estate.
Oh, I love playing games on the ultra wide. I like the side real estate because you're not focused there. Like that's your peripheral, you know, like that doesn't have to be your main point of focus, but it opens up your field of view a lot, which I enjoy.
Yo, apathy is right here, man.
What's that?
He said, "Why can't I think of Brian's name?"
Oh,
It's right there. See, right there.
it exists. It's somewhere.
Yeah. So, Sean, do you see what I'm vaping on?
I do. So, dude, I'll tell you, oddly enough, I had busted mine out relatively recently
Is that right?
and I used it for a while.
Yeah.
And a couple interesting things happened. The first thing that happened was when I was switching over from the Gloom, I was trying to get my my little cap off.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't come off. So I took a little pair of tweezers and kind of shoved it down there to pop it out and accidentally put a hole in my bottle.
I was gonna say,
And since it was my favorite bottle, I super glued it up, which didn't really work for very long.
yeah, and probably not good for you either.
Yeah, but you know, whatever. It's okay. There's no real heat generated down here.
I suppose.
But anyway, so like that didn't. So I found another bottle that I liked, but I was using it for a little while, and I kept finding like there's just so many stupid little things that I don't like about it.
About
Like-
what?
About the little art and mod, whatever the fuck the name of it is.
Oh, the Evo,
Oh yeah, I wasn't using the Evo. I was using the Mech.
the Dia.
No, the Mech one.
Oh, the Art Mod Mech one.
Yeah, you know the Mech one that looks like the Evo that
Yes.
has the carbon fiber plate and it's made
Yes.
out of white plastic and shit.
I never had one of those.
It's the fucking pin. I don't like non-spring loaded pins anymore because every time you unscrew something or screw something back on it, you gotta reset your
So
fucking
you and I both used to love these 510s,
I know, man.
and that's one of the
but
things
they
that I
made
hate
good
about it
spring-
now.
Then they made good spring-loaded 510s though, and the world got better.
Yes. Yeah, Limelight ruined 510s for me.
They
for
really
sure.
did, yeah, because I hate that 510. And I can't remember what the fuck else
Was it the SVA 510 or their own?
SVA one.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Hmm.
There's no bottom cap. So what I was doing is I found out that my squeezing pattern is kind of like I squeeze like in a downward motion.
Oh yeah, do you pulled it off?
And like 3 times without realizing it, I yanked the bottle off and I squeezed, and it's just flooded with fucking juice on the inside. So I switched back to the Limelight because that's not working for me.
Yeah.
But what got you to bring out a DNA, no less?
All of my Rams are in the shop. In fact,
really?
Ace just joined. What's up, Ace? Ace has got
you have
all
like
of my Rams.
20 of them? You had a shit ton of them.
Yeah, I have 4.
Well, I guess it serves you right that all yours broke now because, you know, my last one caught on fire and you didn't have to go through that.
I had one catch on fire. That old the old one, the pre-Ram one. But no, so I had it's been a slow progression over the last couple of years. And then early this year, like this spring, I bought a new Bloom so that I could send my 3 back.
Sure.
And I never sent my 3 back. And that one, something weird started happening to it. Like it started doing this weird glitchy thing. I talked to AC. He's like, yeah, it sounds like a bad board. They just need to swap it out. So you just need to send it back. I'm like, fuck. that's
I'm not
all
feeling
of them.
good because this is what I use, and I'm not feeling great about the possibility of something going wrong with it.
Yeah, no, it sucks. This absolutely, as much as you and I both use these things forever, I hate it now. It is such a subpar vaping experience.
Although I will say I have a different Addy on here now because when I switched to a different Addy.
What you got on there now?
The old Narda.
Oh, the old Narda. Right on.
So I switched back to that because you have my old EA.
Yeah.
EA?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's getting some use.
I need to put it on actually. I haven't. I need to find the right build for it. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is sucking right now is because I've got the RAM build in here, and I think it's just too much metal for a DNA 40.
Oh God, yeah, that'll do it. I thought about one of the DNAs. I was actually trying to set up my billet box again because I was curious again. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna set up my billet box.
Sure.
But it's been so long, I can't get the atomizer out of it. Like I cannot get the atomizer out of the fucking tank. It just will not come out. I've tried everything. I cannot get the fucker out. I tried for like 15 minutes. I'm like, I give up. I'm done with this now.
I'm trying to think what you could use as a tool to push down on the burrow to pop it out.
Well, I got to go the other way. I got to go up.
That's what I mean, to push down. So take the burrow and push down on something like a block to push up the 510.
The biggest problem is, you know, you have the pin and then you have the flat part. And like, obviously, if I could get to the flat part, it would be a more stable push.
Yeah, but you got the legs, right? On the burrow.
Yeah. So I have but I don't necessarily want to push on the pin. I want to push underneath the pin on the body of the thing that's in there.
Oh, you can push on the pin. That'll be fine.
Well, I was pushing on the pin. I just still can't get it out. I'm literally at a point where I think I might like take it out, set it down, and like grab a fucking hammer. But the other problem is I need to go up, and the way this thing is built, like I have to clamp it into something or something like that because you can't like put one side against you or like on a table and push because it can't move because there's nothing there, right? Like, because as the pin comes up and as the thing comes out of the tank, the stem has to come up too. Mm-hmm. It has to go through the hole. So like, it's really fucking difficult to get this goddamn thing out.
So he's got some swollen O-rings or something, huh?
It must be. I mean, it's been sitting in there for fucking ever. Like, and there was juice in there, and I emptied out the juice and like washed it out because I was gonna try putting abolishment in there because I don't think I've ever put abolishment in there.
Oh, it's so good in there.
And I was gonna try doing that, and like, maybe I'll try this again. I'm fucking bored, and then I'll hate it, and then it'll sit and until it leaks all over the place, and then I'm done again.
Yeah,
that's just saying.
What was that, Fu?
I was going to say, I think the only reason why I haven't set mine up is because I've only been vaping Snowdrift. That's it.
Yeah.
Anything like that's the only non-salt I have.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see what happens when I run out of juice eventually. I think I have 2 or 3 bottles left. And I don't know what happens when I run out of juice. Maybe I have to quit.
The world comes to an end, something.
Yeah. I'm really not sure what happens when I run out of juice.
Yeah.
Well, you can try making your own. I know you're not going to do that.
I'm not going to do that. That's never going to happen.
Right.
Well,
I mean, maybe Josh will still make us juice. I think he's still selling it.
I mean, when next time we go to the gas station, give me a pack of smokes.
Oh, is it off the site now?
I think you shut his site down months ago.
Really?
Somebody said that recently. I haven't actually gone.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, so there's a password now. Like you can enter with a password. But you're right. The site is down. God, we really got to figure that shit out, don't we?
We do. I still got a good supply that I bought from a Railcracker before all that went down.
I bought 2.5 liters from Josh right before everything happened. And I tried to buy 5 liters, but he said no.
He said, I don't have that much. I'm sorry.
He said, can I buy 5 liters, man? That would be great. No, I'll send you whatever I can. And it was 2.5. And I'm like, well, that's going to have to fucking work.
Yeah. Did you freeze any of it?
No. I go through it quick enough. The problem is I'm still not ready to quit vaping.
Right.
Like, I haven't gotten to the point where I feel like I'm ready to not do this.
I
really don't know what comes next.
Periods. Like, I'll go through some days where I may have a couple drags in the morning and then nothing for hours. And then at some point in the evening, I'm like, hey, I haven't vaped in a while. That would be nice. I would like to taste that flavor, like that kind of thing. And then there's other days that I'm sitting here working and I would vape all day long. With
it being 2020, I pretty much vape all day long.
Yeah.
Because I'm home and shit.
Right.
So apathy, that's the question that we have to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, because we don't know what we're going to do. Oh, he's asking about Railcracker. I can't help you with that. That's not our line.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that one.
You can still order. I order my Snowdrift in place.
Yeah, from Biggles. Yeah, Biggles is still up.
Yeah.
Because I have been vaping the same juice exclusively for 4 years or so now, maybe 4 or 5 years, something like that. I don't know what the fuck happens when that juice is gone and I can't get any more. I'm not going to go find a new juice.
That's what he's saying, Duro. He said the government's basically doing it for him.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, I'm not going to go find a new juice. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to switch to unflavored. That takes all the joy out of it.
Boys, I'm not going to make it. I'm gonna call it here.
All right, man. Go pack up.
Yeah, buddy. Have a good night.
Pack up, bro.
Go
I'm going
fucking
to fuck to sleep. Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to fuck to sleep.
Yeah, go sleep.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
I'm moving. You'll see me in a new place next week, y'all.
Word.
Deuces. Yeah, Duro, that's the problem with both Sean and I. It's like DIY sounds like such a good idea, and I'm like,
I don't got that kind of time, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's our juice line, so I would hope that we have the recipes. But I'm not gonna mix it myself because I don't have the time and I'm lazy.
Those are my two problems as well. The time that I do have, and I have some time, it's spent doing things that are not mixing e-liquid.
Exactly. And if I have free time where I could mix e-liquid, I would rather like play a fucking video game or read a book or play guitar or do something else.
Yeah, anything else.
Pretty
for
much
whatever reason.
Else.
I don't know what it is. You'd think I would like doing it, right? Because I love cooking. But like, it just sounds like a pain in the dick.
Yeah, I also don't want to keep a high level nicotine in my house with small children.
Yep.
Like, I don't have a lot of interest in that either. So I don't know, man. We might have some ideas. I think there's some things we would like to do and like to try to do. It's just a matter of, making that happen.
Yeah. And that is.
Oh yeah. Somebody says like putting in a dude. You want to talk about putting in a new wick? I barely do that anymore.
Which is gross, really.
My builds are fucking awful.
So I've gotten worse about it, but I still have to do it like once a week because I'll take a drag and I'm like, oh, that tastes like charcoal.
I might do it like once a month. God. Maybe.
It's a good thing you're not doing your billet box then, because that would be even worse.
That's what I'm saying. Well, the problem is if I have to change it often, like that's when I'm never gonna do it with the billet. Because I'm gonna be like, oh, I gotta drain this thing and I gotta take it out and get all fucking covered in juice. Fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Rob's like, dude, you can make a gallon in like 10 minutes. That's probably true.
It probably is, but like, I don't really want to.
Yeah. I think the other thing, and that's the thing, Duro, is if I bought a bunch of 3 milligram already made, that you still have to cut it with 20% flavor or whatever, right? So then it's not 3 milligram anymore. It's all fucked up.
True.
And that's one of the reasons why I haven't done that, because if I knew where to get that reliably with VG that tastes and Nick that tastes good, I probably would have done that if they had that math worked out already, you know.
There's some ideas, I think. There's some things that if we ever all get together and talk, maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can quit pandemicking.
Yeah. I mean, not even in person, just like if the four of us can even get in a pandemic hangout together and chat, we might be able to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, fucking the world's crazy and everybody's busy.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did find this gem, and this might be my favorite of all of them, by the way, going through all the old stuff.
I'm going to light a grenade and leave it in my hand. Hope nothing bad happens.
Hope nothing bad happens.
I think that one's still my favorite of all of them.
Imagine I still throw that one around, just not the clip, just saying it.
Yeah, I love...
Festy, I don't want to buy extracts. I don't fucking like tobacco.
I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do at this point. Like, I really don't. Like... Hold on, I'm gonna actually like get up and I'm gonna go see how much juice I have left.
Okay. Yeah, no, Duro, I was making it up. I don't know what it is. All I know is it would be probably messed up. Rob, that's something that we tried to do a while back, and that was something that due to all the regulations and stuff, I don't think Josh wanted to get into, and that sucks, right? Because that would be an easy way for us to get some of that stuff out there for sure.
I got a little less than 1.5 liters left, so it'll last for a little bit.
Yeah.
So Rob, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, like, because I think we're gonna try to make this happen because we don't really have much of a choice. We promised a long time ago that if we ever went under or we ever went out, which we have now for the second time, that we would try our best to open source the recipes. And ultimately, we just have to figure out how to do that and what the future looks like and all get into an agreement so that we can potentially open source the recipes.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where we're at. Like, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for myself. But I think the only thing left to do is release the recipes. We just have to go through that whole process and get the updated ones if they were updated at all and all that crap.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We just need to sit down and do it. Duro says, go to Liquid Barn. Is it like liquidbarn.com?
The concept of a liquid barn sounds interesting to me.
It does. But so that comes into one of the things that I'm super picky about. And one of the reasons why I went with Stash is because he uses top-notch stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like as much as I loved Amanda's e-liquids, and we created them with her, and it was great. When we went to Stash, they got better. And that's all there is to it. They did just get better. And it just comes down to the
quality
basics
of the stuff that he uses, right?
Yeah.
It's the quality of the neck. It's the quality of all that crap.
Yeah.
Like, he uses a bunch of really high quality stuff.
Right.
And you're not wrong. They did get better.
It did, but it wasn't huge, but it was noticeable. Yeah. And I think Nick is one of those things that I have always been super picky about. Like, there's liquids that I've liked the flavor of, but I couldn't vape them because the Nick tasted like garbage. Yep. Now, granted, my Nick is so low at this point, maybe it doesn't matter or matter as much as it used to. That's possible.
It's funny with how much my palate has changed too, though.
Yeah.
Over the years, because this had to be like a year ago or something. I was like at a vape shop, right?
Right.
And I was looking around and I saw that, it was like that kind of cereal-y, like Cinnamon Toast Crunchy kind of stuff. I don't even remember who the hell made it or what the name of the juice is, but I used to vape it all the time, other than that it was kind of expensive. Because it was still like $20 for a 30 mil or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of pricey, but I used to vape it a lot, and it used to be like a nice treat for me. And I picked it up and I put it in something, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this again."
Yeah.
Oh God, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Like, it just tasted awful, and it was probably the sweetener. And I think I've gotten more sensitive to sweetener as time went on.
Yeah. So Duro says Liquid Barn is high quality, and that's entirely possible. I'm not suggesting that they're not. I have no idea. I'm just saying that I'm picky about it. So, sure, maybe.
Ultimately,
Maybe I'll buy some of that stuff and just drop some, not culotta. What's that shit they used to, the peppermint extract? Like one of the base things that I used to spike my my DB shit with.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just to try it.
I'm gonna mix my own shit.
What's that?
Like, I'm never gonna mix my own shit. It's just never gonna happen.
Well, I think if it was simple, I think I might be bothered to do it. Like,
I don't think it's unsimple. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah. But if it's, we'll see. Like right now, I don't have to, because the thing that I'm still vaping all day long, I can still buy. So I'm not really worried about that at the moment.
Is that Cracker?
Yeah, Rail Cracker. Yeah, Bigglesworth is still up. So
how did I end up vaping the shit with your face on it more than you?
Well, that's so you're talking about the palette changing or whatever. I obviously adored Abolishment and get pissed, but I haven't done it in such a long time, and it wasn't because my palette changes, because how I vape changed.
Sure,
so you and me were always RTAs, right? Low power tanks, and that is exactly, in my opinion, where Abolishment tastes the best. And
but I would disagree with you.
I know you do, but
Abolishment from this,
I don't like Abolishment hot. I just don't. I don't like it.
Like, this is where Abolishment opened up for me.
Yeah,
I started vaping it more when I switched to a dripper.
And anything over like 22 to 25 watts, it was too much. I mean,
I'm still relatively low. This is probably only around 33, 34, I guess.
Right. And that may well be true, but that's the thing, is around where the RTA cuts off, 20, between 21 and 25 watts, that's about where I want it, and no more.
Yeah.
Because it starts tasting different, and not that it's bad, it's just not what I like about it.
Yeah, it's not what you had initially designed in comparison to, I liked it. I like it hot.
Will's the same way, right? He's a Narda dripping it same as you all day long.
Yep.
He likes it like that too.
He might be the only person who vapes more of it than I do at this point.
What?
Abolishment.
Oh, Will, absolutely, dude. He mainlines that shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not far from that. Like, it's the only thing that I've had in anything for a long time. And every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try some PB&J. I'm gonna try something else. It never fucking works though. Like, I try it, I hit it like 3 times. I'm like, okay, back to the mint. I think it's because it's light. Like, it's not a horrendous explosion of fucking flavor, and it's not sweet, and I don't get sick of mints.
Yeah, for sure. That's about what I have left too, Rob.
Where it's funny though, because you talk about this, and like, I hit a point where like I don't like what anymore. Like, I can't vape what anymore, because the mango in it that I used to fucking love is all harsh tasting to me now.
It is. It is a powerful flavor.
Yeah, and it used to be one of those things that like I could vape that fucking straight, no problem, forever. But now, like, it just burns
out of your 16 millimeter little drippers.
Yeah, right. It doesn't work for me anymore, and it might, honestly, it could be because of that. It could be because I don't like what at a higher wattage.
Right. I think it probably is.
And I only vape this way now because this is about all the fuck I have anymore.
And it's all the fuck I care about.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, give me a RAM and either the Vena or the Narie. That's all I need.
Well, guess what? You can't have a RAM. Clearly.
Yeah, exactly. I just ended up killing him after a couple of years. For sure.
You are not allowed.
I hope so. And I hope Ace sends my shit back so fast. I just hope. Now, to his credit, he did offer to lend me one, which was very kind of him, but I'm not going to let him do that. That seems shitty. Not what I do have.
I feel like I need to buy a second one just in case this one ever goes.
Well, I've never had one go like that one did. Granted, again, it was my daily all summer, fall and winter.
I mean, this is my daily every day for
right
years.
And it eventually did. That's the fastest one has ever died on me. The other ones I used quite a bit more than that. And they survived drops, and they survived a bunch of other things that happen.
Oh, this one gets dropped all the fucking time. I'll tell you what I like about having the Narda back, though. I still think I like the top better for flavor. I love having the bell cap back. Like, I love having the bell cap back.
Yeah,
it does so much for heat dissipation.
It does.
And like, I'm pissed I never got a really good bell cap for the top, because I would use the shit out of that. Or even like a Delrin cap. Like, a black Delrin cap would look really good with this setup. That's what I want, is a black Delrin cap.
For the CA?
Yeah, for the CA.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure on the CA it just have the original cap.
Yeah, well, it has the original cap, and then we have that like stepped top cap that looks better than the original cap, I think, because there weren't a whole lot of those.
But it's still steel,
remember?
though.
Yeah, it's still steel.
Right. Yes.
But it's the step top cap. Like, I wish you would have made a Delrin cap.
I agree.
Because I would have really liked a Delrin or a Bell because of the heat dissipation, and the heat dissipation is super fucking nice.
And I haven't talked to Christian in forever.
Christian or Nareg?
Christian Munoz for the bell caps.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember he made one for the TA, but it didn't have the channels cut in it, and it changed everything about how that Addy worked in a way that I didn't like.
Right. I should mention another piece of vaping news that Festi sent a link for Billet Box. They looks like they started powder coating stuff, which I was
really?
surprised to see. And honestly, I mean, it looks okay, but the problem I have with initially just looking at this one, their anodizing has always been A, so thick and durable, and B, so good looking. Seeing it even powder coated reasonably like that appears to be, doesn't look as good as their ano.
Where is this? I don't see it.
It's in their Slack in general. He just posted it today, this afternoon.
It's in our Slack. I was looking at Billabbox's website.
Oh yeah, it's a screenshot off of the their Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dig the little engraved dumpster fire. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I agree. Like, their ano has always been so nice.
Yeah.
And the texture of their ano has always been so nice.
Amazing. And you can never photograph it perfectly.
Texture. Yeah, I can't imagine a powder coated texture for them.
Yeah. The texture would probably be okay to the touch, but
probably, but their ano is so fucking nice.
It's so good.
The ano are so fucking good.
Which is weird to say, right? And there are so many things out there that have been anodized, and you would think, it's stock, and I rarely comment on that kind of thing. But Billet Box colors have always been so gorgeous in person.
Oh God, yeah.
Is that right, Festi?
I love the purple one.
So Festi just said their ano supplier went to shit and was sending them junk. That sucks.
Oh,
that does suck, because that was a key feature, in my opinion, to the price of a Billet Box. It was always the finish quality. And their coloring,
and it was always, everything about them screams like, wow, this is high quality shit. Other than the fact that if I didn't fucking hate the mess that it made by having that all-encompass system, like, it would probably be the only fucking thing I used. And if NAR never would have started making Addies.
Yeah, that too. Did you see the vape snail thing though?
No.
So Festi mentioned it a while back. So you remember the vape shell? It was one of the first series of bridges that came out. That was pretty decent, by the way. They came out with a thing that lets you remove the Addy without draining the Boro.
Oh, really?
To rewick and shit. Cool. Yeah, I figured you, of all people, that may be something that you might be interested in.
Oh yeah, that thing actually looks pretty cool, but I don't really like that Mizzou Addy that much.
No, the vape shell is pretty decent.
The vape shell's okay, but like, it's.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you tried it or not.
It's okay.
It was.
I love that they have kind of their own little tank thing that you can do some cool shit with. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't love that Addy like I liked the Haku one?
Yeah, the Zeta.
Yeah. Although I'd be tempted to try out something like this, because if it vapes decent, at least it clears a lot of the fucking mess and shit.
Right. And I think our buddies in Florida carry it, whose name escapes me at the moment. Vaping Art.
You know what I'm having a really fucking hard time finding?
What?
Squonk bottles.
Oh, really?
I'm having a really hard time finding like good Squonk bottles.
Limelight sells them.
Do they?
Yeah.
On their store?
If they're not on their store, I am certain you could hit up Ace or Maya or...
Somebody needs to tell me what a good Squonk bottle is these days.
The Limelight ones is the only ones I use. And
I was using like an old Cappy.
Yeah, no, the Limelight ones, you and I both, we both love the Cappies. The Limelight bottles are easily as good. And
I feel like I checked the Limelight store and there's nothing on the Limelight store for Squonk bottles.
I am certain
I'm
Ace
looking
can hook
now
you up.
And they're not on the store.
I am certain Ace could hook you up.
Ace, let me know.
Yeah.
because I came across the Sunbox made like a new Cappy.
Oh, did they?
And I really, really fucking like the design of it.
Mm.
Because the way that it's built is, and they have to do it like there's a bunch of different ones. There's ones that only fit into their stuff, which is fuck, I don't want that.
Right.
There's another one where the way it all fits together, the inner tube is stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then you connect like an extension tube that's plastic, and then that's what fits in as your adapter.
Right.
I really like the idea of having a stainless steel fucking tube.
Sure.
In the middle instead of a plastic tube, because then you don't have any of the like wiggle around or get stuck on the side or any of those fucking problems.
For sure.
So I looked fucking everywhere for these damn Sunbox things, and you can only find them that are made to fit their stuff. I cannot find the ones that are made for the adapter. I was really fucking upset about that because I was like, damn, I really fucking want those.
So the Limelight ones are just Delrin and nice, soft, squishy.
Sure.
That bodies. They're fine and they work great. There's been no leaking. They've even got like an O-ring underneath to keep the tube in place so you don't yank your tube out, which is real nice. It's very simple, but it works great, and they're cheap. They're like $7.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'd buy a couple.
So the mod maker ones are fine too. I never really, and I love Rick, but I never really particularly cared for the caps. The caps.
Yeah.
They didn't really.
If you wanna share the Sunbox ones, you can. I just posted the link to them.
Oh.
But again, they're the Pro, and you need the basic with the classic silicon tube, not with the Rapido connection or game over style with the Rapido connection. But I really, really like the design of having that fucking stainless steel tube. I think that's a really, really clever fucking design for a squonk bottle.
For sure.
So if anybody knows where I can get some fucking Cappy V5 basics, let me know that too. Or Ace, if you can hook me up, I'll fucking happily pay for some.
Festy, that is something I was going to bring up. So do you remember that cheap ass squonker that I bought a long time ago for the show to try it out? It was like who was that made that? It was, oh crap, what's his name? The guy that went over to China and started doing his shit. God, what's that guy's name? Drives me crazy. J-Bo.
Oh, yeah, I remember J-Bo.
So they put out, whatever company he was working with, put out a little squonker, a little mech squonker that was like $60 or something like that a while back. And this was 2 or 3 years ago. So I bought one just to test it out. And it had the metal thing you're talking about. It had a metal insert into the bottle. Mm-hmm. But the problem is you can't fully squonk your bottle anymore because it takes that away. So if you try to squonk it too much, you hit the metal very fast.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So it sounds like a great idea, but execution wise, in my opinion, it's not the best.
I mean, I think it depends on a lot of factors too, though. Like, I'd be really curious because like tube depth probably, like tube width probably matters too, because that's how much juice is going to be allowed through and shit like that. So like, I've always liked the Sunbox bottles. I've always thought they made pretty good bottles.
They did make pretty good bottles, yeah.
Somebody said if I don't drive a manual, they're going to be disappointed, and I said I don't. I drive a Beamer.
I actually just sold
appropriate for high horse.
I just sold my manual that I've driven a stick my entire life until this year.
So I drove a stick till about 5 years ago when I moved outside of fucking DC. And I used to have a because I had the W. Did I know you when I had the WRX? Yeah, I totally did. And I was doing training in like downtown, or I was doing training in like Northern Virginia, and I had to drive back to Maryland when I was living in Maryland. And I got stuck in traffic, and I mean like bad traffic, like pipe burst on the road, normal rush hour traffic. Basically everything in DC that could go wrong went wrong.
Right.
30 miles, 34 miles, 5 hours. 5 hours of start-stop traffic in a manual, specifically a WRX with a very heavy clutch.
Yeah.
My foot hurt for like 2 weeks. And after that, I was like, fuck it, I am done. I just can't anymore.
Yeah.
And I bought an Outback, and then I started to hate driving.
Right.
And I didn't make the correlation that it was because of the Outback. And then I bought my BMW, and now I like driving again because that car is, I found out that I have to have something that's kind of responsive and fun and like not floaty and like feels like you're close to the fucking road. What'd you get?
What?
Because you got rid of what? Did you get rid of the GTI? What'd you get?
I had like 3 GTIs in a row too. Dude, I went from a Civic CRX was my first car. I loved that car. And then I had a Prelude and a stick too. Then that one almost tried to kill me, and I ended up buying a Infiniti G35 S. And then I got talked into buying an IS 350 Lexus, but that was my first non-stick car, and I literally lost several $1,000s trading it just a few months later because I hated driving
Just to have a stick car?
I loved everything else about that car. Everything about that car, including the air-conditioned nut cooler seats that were amazing down here. But so I lost a shit ton of money getting out of that. Went back to the G37S, and then after that I went GTI, and now I'm in an Atlas.
Oh, I really do like the GTIs. I really do.
Oh, the GTI it's a
They're
fabulous
fun
car.
Fucking cars.
I test drove a bunch of them before I get that. Like the Mini S was cool, but the problem is when you're my size and your size, my feet spanned the pedals of the Mini. Bad idea, and with a stick especially.
Get the big Mini. You got to get the giant Mini that's no longer Mini.
Yeah, I did. Whereas that's what I test drove the Countryman and the Mini S, and the Countryman's the bigger 4-door one.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was brutal. So I have to, due to family needs, I had to buy a bigger car. And
I mean, if anybody really wants to ask me if I keep my high horse name, and I would like to start with, there's no way in hell I can afford this, but I have been like, every once in a while getting curious and going and building custom Bentleys because someday I would love to own a Bentley.
Boy,
that's probably never going to happen because I'm pretty sure what I've built is like a $250,000 car.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I haven't been curious enough that I've been going and building them a couple times, like a month.
Every now and then I'll go through and build myself an M5 because you can still get those in a stick.
The one I'll probably end up with is a Z4.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Z4. The new Z4s, like the look of the Z4s, they look fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And I've driven whatever now. I really like BMWs.
Yeah.
Like I just all the jokes aside, all the fucking expensive maintenance, which is all the luxury cars. All the nickel and dime shit that BMW does because they absolutely do it. God, do I love the way BMWs drive.
For sure.
Like,
there's a lot to say for it.
So nice.
If you've never driven one, you're missing out.
Yeah, like test drive a BMW, and like they've gotten cheaper,
and
BMW got really fucking smart too. They have the bank of BMW now, so when you buy, you take a loan from their bank,
from their own bank.
Wiggle a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it lets them wiggle more because they get all your interest too.
Right. Hey Lou, I test drove not the BRZ, but the Scion. Is it the TC? Whatever the one that was the same as the BRZ. I can't remember what it was called now. I test drove that one, and that was a really fun car for a really reasonable price, but there's no room in the back seat. None. You just can't. But it was a really fun car to drive. I enjoyed it. The Kia Stinger wasn't bad either. That surprised me. If you sat inside a Kia Stinger, you would not know it's a Kia.
Right? So, dude, I went from a 92 Pontiac Bonneville that was purple, by the way. With the big bench seats in the front and the works. And I had a lot of fun in that car and a lot of stupid shit. Cause I was a fucking kid. Right. So like people are like, oh, you have oh shit bars. And they go, and then they break one off. You motherfucker, you just broke my car.
Yeah.
And just like every little kid, like my whole trunk was filled with fucking subwoofers and all that shit was going on in that car too. I went from that to my first manual, which was a Chevy, whatever the fuck I don't think they make them anymore. The cheap fucking Chevy. Do you know what I'm talking about? What the fuck am I talking about?
I do not know Chevy
Cavalier.
cars.
The Chevy Cavalier.
Oh my god, that's the worst car.
I liked the manual Chevy Cavalier I had.
I rented one time. It was the worst thing I've ever driven.
3 months later, I wrecked it, and then I bought another manual Chevy Cavalier. And then I went from the Cavalier to the WRX, which I fucking love.
Well, that would have been a big upgrade.
It was a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Then I went from the WRX to the Outback because I needed a bigger car and family needs and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then I went from the Outback to the BMW, which is
big
a smaller SUV, but it's still an SUV, and I love my BMW.
Yeah.
it's got all the nice shit in it. I just really like that car. Like for a fucking SUV, like that bastard is fast.
3000 GT. I haven't even thought about that car in a long time. That was like quintessential, what, like mid 90s. That was like the cool shit, for
Right?
sure. So the Cavalier that I drove was admittedly an automatic and a rental, so who knows what's been on with it. But my favorite story about that is I rented it with a buddy of mine that I was working with. I was staffed in California. And we rented this car, and we were in LA. So I was merging onto the 405 and I just stomped on it, right? And it started making a lot of noise, but we didn't go any faster. It just made more noise.
Yeah, admittedly, the manuals were a lot more responsive.
They probably were, I'm sure.
Because they didn't have a shitty transmission like all the other ones. But it wasn't a great car, but it was a good. I was fucking like 20 years old. Like it was a cool car at 20.
Perfect for 20 years old. Absolutely.
Right? It was a cool car at 20. Like
For sure.
inexpensive manual. I can have some fun in it.
I can't tease him, but I drove a CRX. That was not the fastest car in the world. But I loved that car. It was a great car.
Yeah. I mean, I loved that Bonneville. Man.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
that
sure.
Bonneville, it was slow. It was broken half the time.
I'm sure the shocks were.
Yeah, but it was like fucking speckle paint purple with bench seats in the front and back.
Did the guy you bought it from wear like a brimmed hat with a feather coming out the top?
No, but I bought it for like $500 from like my grandpa's neighbor.
Nice.
And I had that car till I went to college. And basically what happened was I was like driving and I'm in Philly and I get into an intersection and the car just dies in the middle of the intersection. I'm like, all right, it's probably time for a new
It's about
car.
time.
I can't really have this dying in the middle of an intersection. That's not a good thing.
That's what happened to me with my Prelude. I was
Well,
driving
my
down the
wife
highway
had, like-
and it just stopped.
I think my wife had like a Cavalier or something else. I don't remember what she had. And it's the night before we're getting married. And her car breaks down like halfway in the middle of the road, halfway between Walmart and like our house. So like we ended up having to take all of our wedding money to buy her a new car because it just fucking died.
Yeah.
Like done. Car's gone. That's it.
Not me. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
I need to
Okay.
get that one in there somewhere.
I have got, I've just got a million things to do tonight. So I think we need to sign off. We don't have the Brown delegation here tonight, but hopefully they'll be back next week. Fu and his new digs, hopefully. It was excellent talking to you, Sean. It was excellent seeing everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming by. I can't tell you how excited I am to put a nail in 2020. Until next week, everybody stay safe. Everybody be cool to each other.
You're fucking up thinking that 2021 is going to be any better.
No, I'm just done with this one. If the other one might be just as bad, but I'm just done with this one.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
All right, everybody.
Peace.
Y'all be safe. Deuces.